Hey everyone, welcome to our wonderful live stream here today. I am your host with the most, Vicki Bruns from the ConnectWise ecosystem team, joined by the lovely and amazing Sean Lardo.
Wow. I mean, the lovely, thank you, Vicki. How are you today? I don't know how to really top that.
There's so many adjectives that I could use for you, Sean Lardo.
I know, I'm just glad you
those are
selected
the two that came to mind.
I'm glad you selected those ones. I feel like I just benefited. Your hair looks lovely today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You don't have to return the compliment. I just, but I appreciate that. That was really nice.
I'm simply stating facts, Vicki. I'm simply observing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure our audience does too, but they're not here to hear you and I talk about how lovely my hair looks or how amazing you are. But we are talking about how amazing PitchIT is and the winner of PitchIT 2023. But before we dive into that, I know that there were a lot of people that joined us. Over 7,000 attended IT Nation Connect and virtually or in person.
Yes.
And earlier this month, although it feels like that was forever ago, doesn't it?
A year ago? Yes.
Yeah, it feels like it was a year ago.
Because the week of IT Nation is it's like in dog years for us. Because we actually work like 3 shifts a day because there's just so much going on. There's simply no way. You start at 6 in the morning and then all of a sudden it's 2 in the morning and you're still doing stuff because there's just so many activities that literally that's like 3 shifts.
Yeah. Well, I was asleep by 2 a.m. because I can't hang like you anymore. But I know that there is a lot of activity going on at all hours of the day and evening, of course. But we're here to talk about PitchIT. For those of you who weren't able to join us, this is a huge contest and a beautiful, innovation that incubation and innovation resource for the community. Absolutely. That really kind of taken off over the past few years. So can you tell our audience a little bit about what PitchIT is?
Sure. So simply put, you kind of already elaborated to a little bit there with the fact that this is an incubated accelerator, right? But really what it is it's a Shark Tank-like competition. And we're looking for the best of vendors that, they're there to do they're here for 2 predominant things with us. One is they have to be able to be integrated into our systems, right? Into our platform. And they need to be co-invested into, thank you, James Xanadu Abercrombie. But they have to be able to be integrated into our system. They have to be reinvesting into our economy and everything. But most importantly, they're here to support the mission of the MSPs, just like we are. This is really, as I mentioned, a Shark Tank competition. So they are going through an accelerated incubator program for 16 weeks with us, where they're going through week after week after week of workshops with practitioners in the space, whether it is people that are sales and marketing or branding or mergers and acquisition or integrations or road mapping or whatever. Every single week is a class, but they're also expanding their brand, their digital footprint by working with me and all the people that run communities around the space, like Marvin B, Anthony, Ray Orsini, you name it, we've done it with them. Adam Valensky, take your pick, right? In the end, though, this year we had 26 vendors in. And I want to make sure we stress this because this is a lot. Yes. Yeah. 26 vendors in this year.
From all over the world.
Yeah, 6 countries represented this year. From everywhere from Israel to Australia to New Zealand to the UK to Canada to Istanbul. So, including the US, right? So, I mean, everywhere. And it's not one segment of business that they're supporting, and again, 26 vendors came in from all walks of life, from cybersecurity to QBRs to automation of some sort to AI was a big topic this year, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And so again, they all were there doing it. They had to go through the program up until we went to the preliminaries at the end of August, where they went through 2 rounds of pitching to stakeholders and to the general public. We quantified the results from both, and we were able to select 3 finalists. The 3 finalists, luckily enough, which I love the diversity in it, was 3 different offers. Again, one being a QBR, one being in cyber, and the other being really headstrong on communications and the ticketing system that everybody loves. But that was representing 3 finalists, which led to us having the live showdown at IT Nation Connect on the 8th, where we had the largest crowd in the history of the event now. We had a huge room that was completely packed. I mean, the back room, not so much because there was a bar there and they couldn't stand at the bar, of course. This is not, Coyote Ugly. But yeah, so, and everything led down to who we're about to speak to shortly here, which is our winner of the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should bring him on.
Right?
What do you think?
I mean, and don't anybody confuse themselves with it being me. It's my younger version.
Definitely your younger version.
Hey guys, hey Sean, hey Vicky, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Bobby. And of course, if you didn't read the newswire, if you didn't see some of the great content and announcements coming out of PitchIT, Thread was obviously our winner for 2023. So congratulations to you and your team, Bobby. This is such a great initiative and such a great win. So tell us, like, how's the team feeling after Connect? And
appreciate it. You see Matt, one of the co-founders of Thread, chiming in there.
I love that.
Good guy, man.
Matt's the best.
He is
awesome. We love getting to work with ConnectWise. We worked with ConnectWise in a ton of areas, integrations, conferences, Invent, all kinds of stuff. But PitchIT is just such a cool program that we have benefited from in a ton of ways, and one of them is winning and getting $70,000. So thanks a lot. It's been awesome.
I'm sorry, but I remember distinctively this very long, really nice presentation at the keynote that announced you guys as winners, and then I come out and you guys, and this is a testament to your awesomeness, but then, like, God, I just want to choke you, is the fact that you also didn't even know it even happened because you were busy working.
Closing deals, probably.
Getting us announced on stage at IT Nation was awesome. We had, if you don't recognize me, it's because I'm not in my flight suit with the motorcycle and everything that we had at the show.
Which was really cool.
But yeah, we were aware pretty quickly that we got announced on stage because our booth was crowded and never slowed down the next 3 days. It was awesome.
Absolutely did.
You guys had such a wonderful theme too. The Top Gun Maverick theme was really great. And just for those of you who have not been to an IT Nation Connect event yet and seen what Thread does, they always go all out. They've got amazing themes. You can see them marching around the solutions pavilion and whatever the theme of the year is. And it's just every year, I always look forward to seeing what you guys bring. So obviously you bring a great, you bring the entertainment factor, but then you also came out as the winners for PitchIT this year. So can you tell us what was your overall, like, what was the most valuable part of the program for you guys?
Yeah, it's 16 weeks of a couple sessions a week with a lot of the leaders in the industry. And as Sean mentioned, it's a wide variety of whether it's sales topics on how to build a go-to-market strategy, how to manage your LinkedIn, how to think about fundraising, product, and being able to bring in different members of our team to the different sessions with the leaders. Some of these people we know, some we could reach out to and schedule stuff. That's a lot of work, right? Reaching out to every person, scheduling the meetings, and then probably more than half of them we didn't know. So it wasn't even really possible for us, which is awesome. But you think about the size of the vendors in PitchIT, we just don't have time. Even if we could do these things, like go get on all these webinars, the marketing is another massive piece of it. Just having, like, there's literally a spreadsheet and it was like, here's all the webinars you get to be on, choose your date, and you're going to be scheduled. And that would, that's just too much work for a small vendor that's building the product and going to market and supporting their customers and doing support and all that stuff. Like, going and scheduling the webinars is time consuming, and thanks to Sean and the team for doing that.
I love that he keeps saying, yeah, don't forget the tattoos. I got my tattoo, right? Look at that. Look how good that looks, right?
That's right. I don't know if I can show it on here.
Now I got to finish it all right. Now, I like
just for the record, what James and what Sean are talking about is that Thread had a tattoo artist at their booth that were doing tattoos, and so Sean has his new Decepticon tattoo that he got at the booth.
That's right.
at
I
a
think
conference.
5 ConnectWise employees got tattoos, 15 MSPs is pretty cool.
I was totally repping. I was like, "Hey, there's tattoos. We're gonna get." They're like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to get a tattoo right now. Everybody thought it was like just a pretend tattoo, and I'm like, "No."
It's the real deal.
I will say that guy, he had the softest hands. Like he did. He was like,
Good to know, Sean.
his tattoo was so like, he was so nice. He was so gentle. When the gun stopped, I said, "Are you done?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Please keep going." I was resting.
He's local in Orlando. We'll follow up with his contact info. He wants to find the
Absolutely, dude.
It sounds like you may have to have him again come back like for 2024.
Yeah, I need more work
He might.
done. But I want to come back to, you said it's just too much work to do all these things. But the reality is, I put you guys through a lot of work. The hardest for me, in my experience, I always find it so difficult when I was trying to revamp companies, was to revamp not only their image and brand, but also the messaging and the way we present and talk about what we do. That is the hardest one, especially with entrepreneurs, because this is their baby and they have a certain way they want to say things. And it's based off of their evolution with their own baby. And that's not where they are currently anymore. And so it is a coming to Christ kind of conversation, right? And you have to be humble. So, you guys did really well, because I make you guys do a lot.
Yeah.
And
we did the 30-second pitches a lot. I think every head-to-head 30-second pitch we did as practice, we lost. Like we did them on a bunch of webinars, and there was I forget who exactly we lost to, but there were a lot of great vendors in the competition. And to your point, being able to speak clearly and concisely about what you do, especially for people coming out of MSPs and solving technical problems, it's not easy.
No.
Can we talk about like the essence of this elevator pitch? Because I think that this is a great concept that is really difficult to capture. Is how do you make sure that you're getting your message across in a way that's impactful and concise? And so you just mentioned, Bobby, like leading up to the actual like show, and when you're there in front of the judges, and how many hundreds of people were there? Like 500 people
plus
were in the audience.
Yeah.
So
and it's everybody. To add to the point, Vicky, just to make it even worse for them, is it's not just MSPs. It's MSPs, it's other vendors, it's investors, it's our GMs. So how do you really appeal to the entire, how do you have a mass market appeal that you're looking for?
For sure. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we learned and really focused on was like, what is the value you provide, not like what are all the features you do. I think when we lost the 30-second pitches, we were trying to describe all of our features really quickly versus saying like, we help MSPs create magical experiences. And if you chat from Teams, it opens a ticket in the PSA. Like those, when we say magical experiences, people are like, okay, like what does that mean? And then we say it opens a ticket in the PSA, and they're like, okay, cool, but now I'm scared because it's going to break my process. And then we say, it follows all your process. We're really good at helping you do that, right? And I didn't need to get into every feature about how we help you do that. We can dig into it, but I know what some of the main objections are going to be. I was able to get to them quickly. And that was a lot of the stuff that the coaches really helped us get into.
And well, yeah, you're right. You guys did lose. I blame it on Mark. I blame it on Mark. No. No, you're right, but it's back to feature heavy because that's your baby. And again, it's very difficult to get out of that. But I mean, you getting ready for the preliminaries, even you came to me and were like, let me show you what we got. So you actually went to the drawing board and started to redo the way you spoke about it, which is, by the way, a very humbling experience, right? Because you think you got it and then you don't got it. And it's not that you don't have it. It's just that 20% changes everything.
Yeah, our first pitch had like this really nice slide of the world and how many people in the world used Microsoft Teams and how everything's changing to collaboration software. And some of the feedback we got is like everyone in the room knows the market size. Like everyone's an MSP, everyone works with MSPs. Like you don't need to tell them how big MSPs are. And so then we were able to get straight into the pain instead. And we were like, support sucks today. And that was, I think, a way better opening. And that's not what we started with.
Yeah, getting right to the pain that people could identify with. So we had a comment that came in, and I don't think it's hitting our socials, but we have a comment of somebody wanting to really kind of understand, besides the awesome elevator pitch you just gave us, what is Thread and what gaps does your application fill in the MSP market?
Yeah, so I'll try to distill down the 5 minute presentation real quick, but basically providing support's really hard today. Phone's an expensive way to provide support. Email's a bad way to provide support. If it's not in ConnectWise, it didn't happen. We believe that as much as anybody, but it's really hard to bring that into reality and provide a great customer experience. And so with Thread, we help MSPs provide magical experiences by meeting your customers where they live in something like Microsoft Teams. So your customer chats, it opens a ticket in the PSA, you follow all your process, dispatch it. You can chat straight from Manage or from our tool. We see over a 30% decrease in time to resolution for chat-based tickets, and an MSP can handle multiple chat-based tickets at the same time. When an MSP is using our platform in total and writing their time entries with our AI and dispatching and prioritizing tickets, we see over an 80% increase in overall efficiency. So, that's a bit of it, but really providing chat support that integrates is the core.
I like that. And I think one of the big takeaways is what you mentioned is that 30% decrease, but also what's the increase in production for the tech team, right? Because that's ultimately who the first people you're enabling to be successful is your support team, right? And in those areas you mentioned, like, okay, if it's not in ConnectWise, it didn't happen, right? How many times is it not in there because they have to do duplicate work? Like, okay, I'm over here working, now I have to go over here and update, now I have to go back here, and guess what happens? That one ticket is actually like working 2 customers essentially, because you're working the ConnectWise customer, meaning the ConnectWise platform, and you're working the actual customer. So,
we always ask MSPs if they provide chat support today. And initially they're like, no, phone and email. And then they're like, well, sometimes our customers message us Teams and there's some text. And I'm like, I'm sure that always lands on the ticket, right? And that's where you have to choose whether you're following process or serving your customers. And when you're at that point, it's not a good situation.
Is there a mobile capability with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And Teams and Slack cover a lot of it. They're already on mobile, and we're just going straight through those.
So no matter where I'm communicating from, so if I'm in the field and I get something from a ticket I'm working on elsewhere, it's literally going to be updated if I respond back to them from my Teams on my mobile.
Yeah, you can change the status, priority, do a time entry, all from mobile and Teams.
Sounds awful.
I love it. Tracking time too.
Well, I think it's important. I think it's important even for like owner-led MSPs where they are small shops, especially because they do give away their cell phone number. They do go through texting people, and they don't track or update any of it. That's a known fact. And if anybody says that's a lie, I will challenge them now. Guarantee we'll pull their phone up and find 20 different text messages from somebody.
Yeah, and for a one-man shop, you can kind of handle it. But when you start hiring and scaling, and then people need to know what other people are doing, it gets out of control.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, sorry, Vicky, I'm taking over.
No, it's great. I think this is it's adding the context, which is super important.
Yeah.
I was going to go back to PitchIT, and I think we've covered, Bobby, like what your sentiments were and like feedback from being in the program this year. I guess, and we also talked too about like the evolution of your pitch. So what do you think tipped the scales in your favor this year?
Yeah, Nodeware, vSeo Toolbox, really awesome. Probably Sean's mentorship. I did shave my head during PitchIT, so
it's a shaved head and a beard.
It's a little bit of the mentorship going on. I grew my beard out a little bit, but
right.
We got to work with a mentor. All the teams in the finals had mentors, and we got to work with Cam from AlertOps, who won last year. And Cam was super helpful, helping us work through the Q&A. The Q&A is longer than the pitch, so that's a big part of it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We also chose to have 2 of us on stage. Mark, our CEO, was up there, and it was a little hard to go back and forth, but I think it really helped us in the Q&A section to speak to the vision of the company and how we're thinking about things. And ultimately, I think just the way we're attacking the market. We're a pretty new vendor to the space generally. Our team comes from the space. We've come out of a large MSP, but Thread itself, coming to market doing things quickly. You know, we launched an AI feature last year at IT Nation when there wasn't quite as much going on, where we write all the time entries. And then I think just putting that into this year with the rapid growth and the rapid product growth that we've had, you know, showing that we've grown 417% in the last 12 months. I think that was pretty compelling.
That is really compelling. You guys also rebranded last year, right?
We did.
It was last year at Connect.
That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were Chat Genie previously, and that initially started as a side project out of the MSP. We'd been to IT Nation as Chat Genie in different forms a few times. And then, yeah, we raised funding and, you know, everyone went full time about a year and a half ago. So last year was big for us for sure.
I think I think I would go with the conversation also of the way you guys have made an impact and your growth is because of the way you guys come out. Again, like you make an impression immediately. It's I think a challenge you see with a lot of startup companies is they think that the major investment is in the development of the product only, and not realizing that you have to have just as equal, if not a greater investment in the marketing and the sales and the growth of the business.
Yeah, it's really both. You know, like I think way more companies lean towards the product and development side, and if we build it, they will come. And you know, that's not always the case. It's often not. But on the flip side, some companies are just really good at marketing, but then an MSP shows up for the demo and they don't actually get it, or it doesn't solve a real problem. And so
Right.
it's hard to do both, to be able to keep a high close ratio and a quick sales cycle and be able to stay financially, you know, in a good spot so you can serve your partner and balance it all. It's important, but you know, for us, the crazier we can go and the more attention we can get, then we can put more money back into building our product versus, you know, going to spending $500,000 at some conference or something that, you know, just isn't possible for us today.
I guess that ties into like a question I would ask is like, on top of that, what are the keys to Thread's success? So it sounds like reinvesting back into the product, being strategic about the types of events that you're showing up to. And when you're showing up, everybody on the team is intentional with every minute that you're there. What are some other thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think our team is really awesome. Matt and Mark, our founders, again, you know, they started Chat Genie years ago, and they've been spending a lot of time talking to MSPs, figuring out what the problem is, bringing on more people from the industry and people from outside the industry that can bring an outside perspective, especially on the product side, to bring more of an enterprise consumer focus. You know, our app is really beautiful. We focus on a lot of design and UX, and that's very intentional to give MSPs a bit of a new experience. But yeah, I mean, succinctly, I think the team really focusing on what our partners want and listening. Everyone tries to do it, and we're not perfect at it. It's hard, but I think really keeping MSPs at the front. And then one of our core values is being radical, which I think is what a lot of this comes out to, of dressing up and you know, launching things quickly. And you know, there's some balance there, but I do think being radical is a big part of it.
I mean, you're radical but intentional.
Yeah, you can't just be radical and off the chains all the time, but you can probably always be a little more radical than what you're currently doing.
I would agree, and it's also part of it. You know, you guys do a really nice job at growth hacking.
Yeah, we haven't had a marketing person on our team until about a month ago, and it is awesome. Marketing is incredible. We need marketing. We just haven't had that. It wasn't part of our core super early stage strategy. And I think that helped keep our team really tight on like everyone it's marketing by committee. So if we can keep that where everyone's still involved in the growth hacking and stuff, and we have more formal marketing around that, you know, that's a big part of the PitchIT takeaways that we're definitely going to use.
Oh, I really like this. I don't know what this this like emoji is or like this avatar. It looks like Face Off. Like that's what I'm thinking of. It's probably not that, but that was really sweet, John Westra. Do you guys know
thanks,
John?
It makes it look like John and Westra are two people.
If only we had our picture ready, Bobby. I feel like it'd be so perfect for this moment.
Oh, great.
So I wanted to say, okay, we've talked about the PitchIT program from this year, and having an awesome coach who's like been through it, and won in 2022. Some of the things that you guys are taking back. I love having those core values, like being radical is awesome. James Abercrombie. I know it's true. But I was going to ask, what are some recommendations that Sean and Bobby that you would make towards the future PitchIT program? So looking at like 2024 and beyond, what should vendors consider before applying to the program?
I'll let you say it, Bobby. You take it, because you had to run it, by the way. So
Sure. Well, yeah, one really fun thing about PitchIT is you can be in it twice, which I think is awesome, because I would say like having some traction, I think it helps you take a bit more advantage of a lot of the things, if you have customers and some revenue and some people on your team. But that being said, if you don't have those things, I think you're just going to get different things out of PitchIT. Like you may not win the PitchIT competition because your presentation probably isn't just going to be as compelling. You haven't learned quite as much potentially, but the sessions for those 16 weeks are going to drastically change the way you think about things and the connections you make. And then you come back a second year, hopefully you've got some traction out of it. And, we just hit $1 million in revenue. So we are by no means like a big company or, anything like that, but we're able to say we have $1 million in revenue. So I think, if you want to win PitchIT, I think having some traction that's appropriate for a startup, and then just really going all in, going to all the sessions, working with all the other startups. We have 25 other vendors in the space now that we spent 16 weeks with, that we can co-market, that we can integrate. We sponsored some sessions at IT Nation with VCO Toolbox and Nodeware. So, thanks for the support on that. But I think just going all in is the big thing.
Right. As we like to say, and I know that Sean likes to make fun of me because I live in the South, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And you guys are really good at being able to take the content that's being provided and then implementing that. That's the biggest part, and that's the key differentiator, right?
Did you say, but you can't make them drink?
But you can't make them drink the water. Maybe some bourbon or some beer.
Maybe some beer. I love it.
I would say start with, Jess, if you can put that back across the bottom.
Yes, there's a wait list.
Yes, you can apply for the wait list. It's a short app. And once we open up for enrollment, you'll get the long form. So I would say do that now, because there is a selection process that takes place. The link is also in the comments. So, for those of you that don't know, now you know. So you can't say you don't know. That's all. Just saying. And be ready to work.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when you talk about leading a horse to water and drinking it, every time that there's a session and you should drink the water, there's something else that's burning in your business, right, that you could go focus on. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the hard thing of like having the discipline and having, the team bought in. Maybe Matt goes to a session and then Mark goes to another one, and I go, we all didn't go to every session. We all went to a lot of sessions, and the ones that were appropriate. So it can't just be one person involved in it.
Right. So you had your CEO going to the sessions. You had Matt, who is your COO, right?
That's right.
And then you're the head of growth. I mean, that's actually really compelling if you think about it, because you're getting you're representing different parts of the business, right? And then you're able to kind of like be able to take it back and work it from all angles. So would you say that that's maybe like a good recommendation for future contestants?
Totally. Yeah, and we had our product team go to some sessions. Like there's a lot of different pieces, but yeah, absolutely choosing who should go to which session and going to multiple people going to each session is important.
I would agree with that. I think if you have your stakeholders involved and everybody understands where you're going, everybody knows what you're trying to accomplish, because it's different for you to tell me something because I work for you than to hear from a third party. It's kind of like if you say something to Mark, he's like, yeah, Bobby, good idea, whatever. But if a customer says it, he's like, that's a wonderful idea. Why have we done that? And you're looking at like, well, I told you that. But again, it's that second opinion. It's a third party. It's a trusted resource. You know, so
there's always Q&A on the sessions as well. And it's not, if Sean's awesome, Sean's not doing all of them, right? It's experts on each individual thing. And while like 26 companies is a lot, you always have opportunity to ask questions. I feel like I asked questions on every one that I was on. And it, really specific stuff to it's like, hey, we're talking about marketing. That's great. How do we handle this specific thing? That was awesome.
Yeah, no, I know you're right. Well, yeah, there's not one of us. There's no way I could give up. Dude, if you talked about, hey, let's talk about every bit of development, there's no way I could answer that. I don't want to, by the way. And I'm not the expert of that. I mean, my goodness, I can't replace Michelle McBain on how she leverages social media. She is like the grand poobah of everything. Right. It is, so that's what I'm saying. Like these coaches, these Cameo coaches we have, they're practitioners legitimately. They're known. So it's not like you can challenge them because they can show you their body of work and be like, yeah, are you challenging me? Let me look at your score to my score in social media, and you lose. And they know what they're doing. And by the way, they all donate their time. That's the one thing. Every single judge and every single Cameo coach and coach donates their time.
And they're super pumped to be a part of it. I know, just talking to them, they're like, I can't wait for next year.
I know,
so
right?
It's really, it's like the just paying it forward type of mentality, which is really cool. So speaking of paying it forward, Bobby, does that mean that you're coming back maybe as a coach?
Yeah, we'll see. I would love to. That'd be awesome.
If I ask him to, I don't.
Yeah, it's up to Sean. We'll see how the next few months and stuff goes. But
yeah, if he does what he's supposed to do, we'll talk about it. We're gonna have meetings about this,
I mean, you did get a tattoo at their booth, so
I did get a tattoo.
I feel like that was pretty cool.
That's right.
I was like, I should have told him to do more work. I need more work done now. I seriously drooled on that bed, just so we're clear. I was thinking.
It's not my
I
bed.
I do have a picture of it. I'll post it in the comments later.
Oh my Lord,
interested.
It was so comfortable. I told you, the guy was great.
So, so for anybody that attended in person or virtually, Bobby and I actually had a really cool quick interview that we did, which is on the virtual platform. But I asked you there, but Bobby, I'm going to ask you again, what are you guys going to do with the winnings, with the 70K that you brought in?
Yeah, absolutely. Give it all to Sean.
Not taking him to Maldives or anything, right?
All they give for Sean. I'm so excited.
No, we are super excited to continue to get more involved in the ConnectWise ecosystem. It may allow us to get into the Evolve community, which would be great. Working with more MSPs, meeting more partners, going to more events. Also focusing on our AI releases. We were dressed up as co-pilots because of our Ask Copilot release, where you can talk to our AI in platform about your ticket, have it write responses to you. So we're working on training that to read IT Glue, to read configs and the PSA, to give responses based on those things. And so it's certainly going to help us do that faster.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we were going to touch on that. So you've got AI now that is incorporated into your solution. And you said that was launched at Connect?
Yeah, we launched first at Connect last year, our automated time entries, which we call time pads. You literally click a button and it writes the time entry for the tech. Super awesome. Since then, we've launched auto prioritization, auto categorization, and now Ask Copilot. So it's all tech and dispatch facing AI. Even though we're a chat tool, it's not like the end user is chatting with AI. We want that to be a really personal relationship to create that magical experience. But we want to empower the technician to do more, and ultimately the MSP to have a better bottom line. To have more endpoints, more users to technicians through AI.
Very cool.
I think something to really point out though is, the first thing you said was we'd like to get involved with the Evolve, right? And stuff like that. I think the most important thing for being around for as long as I've been around, which is like only a year or two because I'm 23, is that you see a lot of vendors that come and go quickly, right? They don't reinvest in the communities and get to be. You need to be in the trenches with the people you're supporting and talking to. So I'm glad to hear. I think it's important that you talk about that too, and that that's an investment, because it really is. They need to be heard and need to be able to find you guys.
Totally. Yeah. And, in a lot of ways, the problem we're solving, it's not like we're a backup tool and it's like we're backing up stuff better than this other vendor's backing up stuff. There's not really many vendors out there helping MSPs chat with their customers, certainly not in Teams, not talking about service experience. So getting in front of MSPs and educating about the problem we're solving, it takes time, and we need to meet people where they are. So Evolve is a great way to do that.
Absolutely. And again, reinvesting shows that you have longevity. I think that's the important piece, because the one thing that we wanted to make sure of is that we're looking for, the reason why we put this together the way we did is we're looking for staying power. In order for you guys to stay, you have to be able to grow. You have to be able to, and me being from outside of ConnectWise originally and being a vendor doing it, I struggled understanding how to navigate and be in the right places all the time. It took me years. Like literally,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you're telling me.
It's hard to know. Yeah.
This was my 10th IT Nation Connect I've been to. Okay. So.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay.
In my 2 years of working in the industry, I've been there 10 times. So no, but it's, and coming around, I never knew really where to go or what to do originally. And I had to growth hack it. So, yeah, you guys got you had to run through the gamut. You were in the gauntlet with me, and it was good. I figured, and I took everything I learned, and also having Andrea Barrow, she's like great for me because she knows all the ins and outs of ConnectWise. Honestly, she's like, she helped me to navigate things I never knew existed. And we were able to build a plan around it to get them in the right places all the time, and the cream rises to the top, I guess we could say. And here's Bobby now looking just like me, which is awesome.
Yeah. So, super excited to get deeper into the ConnectWise ecosystem. We are an event partner. We do a lot of things today, but continuing to help more MSPs see how they can provide a great service experience while staying in the ConnectWise ecosystem. And it's not a ConnectWise, it didn't happen. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. So I wanted to ask, do you have anything on the horizon that we should be looking forward to in 2024? Anything that you could mention that's on the roadmap for our listeners?
There's certainly going to be some fun new releases. We launched Ask Copilot in beta. There's going to be a lot more functionality around that. Look for more automation that's end to end. We do a lot with Microsoft today. So there will certainly be some more pieces there. And just extending where these magical experiences are. Dispatchers have a really hard job at MSPs today. There's tools out there, automated priority, categorization, for example, that makes their job easier. But we really want to empower those people to do more than just sending tickets left and right, but to empower their technicians to do more. So there will be some fun stuff on the dispatch side.
I love that you keep talking about magical moments, because it reminds me of the keynote by Jesse Cole, the owner of the Savannah Bananas, where he talks a lot about the fans first mentality. And so, hey, sounds like you can, if you're an MSP and you're a service dispatcher and you're using Thread, you can create fans first moments with your clients, right?
Yeah, Jesse came by our booth and took a picture on our motorcycle with our team. And if you go on our LinkedIn, he actually commented on it. So yeah, all about creating great experiences. I was so excited that he was there.
That is very cool. So let me ask you one last question about Thread. Where can our partners and where can the community learn more about your offerings and your webinars, all the great stuff and all the great content that you're putting out?
Yeah, well, we're in the ConnectWise marketplace, which is a great place to find any vendor. So definitely recommend going there, see some reviews about us from other MSPs. You can go to our website, getthread.com. You can click book a demo, I think is how it's phrased. Click that button, you can schedule some time. That's the best way to do it. It is somewhat transformational. So we do want to go through it with you and talk through the impact it'll have and how it fits into your current service model and what dispatch looks like with chat. So that's the best way to do it. We have a YouTube with a bunch of interviews and demos and stuff we've done there as well, but going to our website and grabbing some time is the best way.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, you guys, this has been a super fun live stream. I don't know. I just enjoy you both. But and of course, we like to have a lot of fun. But I was going to say, besides PitchIT this year, are there any last remarks, anything else that you want the community to know about from our time together here today?
Yeah, I mean, we love working with ConnectWise. You know, we didn't know how the tattoos were going to be received, and people, ConnectWise employees got tattoos. We were on the live stream, so you know, ConnectWise is awesome. Like, props to you guys as a company for being totally on board with the radical things that we do and that the industry does as a whole, and lifting everybody up. You know, thanks for PitchIT. Thanks for giving us some money for it. A lot of connections. Yeah, love working with you guys.
You're welcome for the money. You're welcome. Just remember.
Appreciate it.
You know what though? Think about this, because Mark always complains about it, and I'm calling him out on now. He's tried so hard to be in PitchIT for the last several years. Imagine how he got into before this all before it transformed.
Yeah,
it'd have been a very different outcome.
Just wasn't the right time, maybe.
And that's why I said, like, there's different things you'll get out of it. You know, if you're a brand new company, day one, you probably aren't going to win, but you'll get some really awesome learnings out of it. So, you know, we tried to cash the big check. That didn't work. So, you know, we got to figure out quite how to make that happen.
Did you have it under your arm while you were driving the motorcycle with like
Exactly. I figured like we only needed one bank to cash it, but you know.
Yeah, no, the best part was after they won was Dave Meg from Defense X, come get a picture. And Dave like stood in the middle like he won. He like literally he's like holding the check with them. I'm like,
Dave's incredible. He's the best.
He actually is. Like I would say this for those people that don't understand why they should be involved. You kind of elaborated on it. You know, the network you build, the friends you create, it's stronger for you all to work to collaborate and do things together than it is to do by itself. And so those are big things right there. Like it was nice watching you guys all work together, and last year they did it that way too. Yeah. But this year got much bigger. I mean, we went from 18 to 26 this year. I mean, so again, there's obviously something working for everybody. And you know, the plans are in the future is to start to have global, you know, local, global, like Europe, Asia, all that stuff on its own. That's the
PitchIT over the world.
Yes, like
excited to see it.
Yeah, and I want to be like Simon Cowell, and I want to X people like America's Got Talent, and I also
have like the golden buzzer moment. You know,
APAC's Got Talent, absolutely. EMEA's Got Talent. I want to beat all them buzzing people.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild mid-presentation to get shut
off.
Or not, you know,
shut off for the golden buzzer.
It's really good to let people finish, but that's awesome.
How amazing would that be? That'd be so fun. I would just be for the hell of it.
And it's so cool because I mean we were touching on this earlier, but you see these collaborations that prior cohorts do together, and it's just they keep coming back and doing more and more things, and so it really is like a community initiative that just keeps giving and giving to other vendors that are coming into the space, and it's really, really cool to see. So
absolutely,
good job, you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing it all.
Yeah. Well, so I was going to ask you, Bobby, are you going to dye this gray now, so that way you and Sean can truly meld into one human being?
It's blonde, Vicky. It's blonde.
Is it blonde?
I may dye a blonde at some point. I think it's going to come naturally. You know, I had hair when I started working with MSPs, so it probably won't take long for the gray beard.
Coincidentally, so did I. It's weird. I had it too.
Listen, I just highlight mine, so there's no grays here. You can't see them.
Mine's tipped. Mine's like tipped. That's all. It's frosted. I do that.
Good Christmas.
Yeah,
it is. Well, listen. I think next time when we get together on a live stream, we need to see some of the beard ornaments, and yeah,
sounds like a plan.
I think it'll be fun.
Fine.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this awesome and entertaining and fun live stream today. And obviously it's been so great to have Thread here on the show. Thank you so much, Bobby, for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and Sean, great job again this year, and to the entire PitchIT team internally at ConnectWise that we're working behind the scenes too, like Andrea, Louie, Ashley,
and Jess.
Couldn't do it without, and Jess, right? Couldn't do it without you. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for stealing my thunder, Vicky. Amazing.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead and end the show, Sean.
No, you said thank you to all the team. I wanted to. You did it. We're done. Move on.
Thanks, Vicky. Thanks, Sean. You guys rock. And
thanks, Bobby.
The rest of the team.
There you go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
Toodles.